So I was asked to play to build blue-red fairies with the nice tech that Improbable Alliance is a better Bitter Blossom. Yeah, because it doesn't deal you damage. No, thank you for gifting us up to Jose. Appreciate that. Why Filter Guardian instead of Restoration Angel? Because you can Glittering Wish for Saheeli is the big reason. But Resto is a bit more powerful, so you could certainly go in a different direction. But this deck, I think it looks very, very cool to me. Sprite Dragon, also a fairy. We have utilized both the fairy and the dragon half of Sprite Dragon on this channel in the past. We're doing it again here today. One thing, and I hate to say it, is this deck could very easily be a Lurrus deck. This deck could very easily splash white or black for Lurrus. It's okay with the Alliance, I guess. I'm glad you guys like the deck. I was pretty excited by the suggestion. All right, so pretty insulated against a Blood Moon, I guess. We actually have Blood Moon in our sideboard, so we shouldn't be too worried. I might keep the island though, just so that way we can actually cast the charm if they do turn 2 Blood Moon me. This could also be Heliod, of course. Pawns, I think, is a bit more popular at the moment. Oh, I just saw Obosh. Well, that's on me. I mean, I'm glad that we were insulated against Blood Moon here. They've got a very good start though. No Bloodbraid Elf because they have Obosh. Just a Bone Crusher. So I think we need to hold up Logic Knot to be able to counter Luca this turn. Too bad we don't have any Forest to steal Arbor Elf. That's it's one thing I've liked about the Ponza matchup and the Heliod matchup is with the Bring to Light Lurrus deck is you just have Forest on top Arbor Elves with. Could be Obosh almost always means Luca combo. Although I think you could also play there's the 3-mana 3/3 that when it enters you untap a creature. You can play that in Kiki Jiki and be a Obosh Ponza deck too with the Kiki combo. So we can't counter a 3-drop. We can counter the second 3-drop. Logic Knot worse than Counterspell, huh? I guess I'll get the counter up here. We do have Mana Leak in this deck. And being on the draw, not having a bolt for Arbor Elf. A lot of things going wrong for us this game. Chris, 4 months to get the Hunterberg Memorial? Yes, I am planning on attending. I've been at like the last 5 or so. I guess I need to work on my signature, huh? Alright, next turn we can double bolt, I guess. Hopefully my opponent's somewhat out of gas, but they just have this, of course. They're drawing an Arbor Elf. Oh, they're shuffling. Ugly as possible, make it out to eBay. Hell yeah. I feel like anyone would buy an Aspiring Spike signed Colossus on eBay. Wow, they're so lucky to hit Emrakul. Let's see if they're doing anything spicy in their build. Seems like they are not. We shall fall upon our own sword here. Alright, you get to bring in the Aether Gust. Frostbite breaks up the combo. They are maybe a little more creature heavy than the non-Luca versions. Turgon, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you. I think my opponent will probably side out Blood Moons. I could be wrong about that. Camille cut the Royal Scions. Cut an Opt. Frostbite versus Scred. Yes, Frostbite's better. I know Frostbite kills Monastery Spear and Soulscar Mage on turn 1. Scred sometimes kills it on turn 2 if you don't draw if you draw only basic lands. It will maybe kill it on turn 2 if they don't have a spell to cast. Is there not an Isn't Snow Duel? There is, but I don't want to put it in my deck. Yeah, just not good enough. So yeah, Scred just takes a long time to come online. And Frostbite, they're just like extra copy of Lightning Bolt, so they're very similar to it in matchups where you really want extra 1 mana removal. I think that Frostbite is a better option than Burst Lightning. Maybe not a better option than Firebolt. What, Lightning Axe? I mean, you don't want to play Lightning Axe without synergies for the discard. You don't. So like, if you're going to be playing a card that is 1-for-1 removal, you don't want like 1-for-1 removal is really good in a lot of matchups, but Lightning Axe, you're just 2-for-1ing yourself, which I view to be too high a cost. So they don't have any 2-drops in their deck, of course, besides Stomp. So this should stop them from playing anything too impactful here. They did have another copy of Utopia Sprawl, and they do have a land. I'm not going to gust this Utopia Sprawl. How often do I play more than 2 Jace in the deck? I played 3 Jace in Blue-White Miracles back in the day, back when Mystic Sanctuary was still around. Cascade Bluffs on top. Let's shuffle. I think I'll get an island just in case they left in Blood Moons. I know Faithful Splitting's banned, but do you think Arclight Phoenix could be a deck? I mean, Arclight Phoenix can be a playable deck. Yes and no. It's like right now Phoenix is like an okay F&M deck that you can play with like a bunch of Izzet Charms and stuff. But it's really not going to be a competitive deck in Modern until another enabler is printed for it. Like something similar to the power level of Fatal Suiting. But ideally a little less powerful, of course, since Fatal Suiting was just like the best card in Modern for a long time. Yeah, careful study is usually what people say when we have this conversation every single day. I'm gonna force. Let's keep our dragon alive. And this is also nice that the dragon will survive a stomp if they keep this on top. But if Careful Study is printed into Modern, it's immediately one of the best cards in the format. If Careful Study is printed into Modern, it is immediately a staple. It is immediately one of the best cards in Modern, and that's not, inherently terrible, but I am nervous that the card would be too dominant. It would not just be good in Phoenix. It'd be good in Hollow One. It would be good in Dredge. It would be good in a lot of decks. So their last card in hand is Bone Crusher Giant. They did keep the Bone Crusher on top. Sprite Dragon does kill pretty fast. Let's see what we draw here. Just as Tarn. Is study confirmed? No, it's not. It's not. Just people want it to be in Modern Horizons 2 because they really want to play Blue-Red Phoenix again, and I also would like to play Blue-Red Phoenix again. I absolutely would love to play Phoenix again, but that's why people are talking about it. It's not confirmed, of course. Wait, they're not casting the Bone Crusher? I feel like I would have definitely cast Bone Crusher there. They put Obosh in their hand? Maybe that's better. We need to draw some spells. Careful Study is worse than Looting. Yeah, it's definitely worse than Looting. Maybe it makes Phoenix playable but not broken. I mean, If I mean, I don't think that that's like even up for debate. If Careful Study is printed into Modern, Phoenix is like all of a sudden a good deck. I don't even think it's close that Phoenix is. Countering the Obosh is nice, but they're just dead if we find Lightning Bolts. So let's find the Lightning Bolt. Yeah, Phoenix is like maybe just a tier 1 deck immediately, depending on what the rest of the cards look like. Like, you gotta remember that with Faithless Looting gone from the format, the power level of Modern is very different. Like, the dynamic and the landscape of Modern is so different. Like, they were just, like... You guys just remember playing... There were just so many decks that could make so much power on turn 1 and 2. There were the Vengevine decks that could just easily, or not easily, but like very often on turn 2 would get 2 Vengevines back, and the Hollow One decks could put, 3 Hollow Ones in play on turn 1 sometimes, and even just 1 Hollow One on turn 1 was really, really strong, and that deck was a lot better than I think most people gave it credit for. And, I guess I actually do want the Sinkhole to be able to deal with Obosh. I think on the draw, I like the mana leaks a lot less. I might even play a Dispel. I feel like they're going to have a lot of... Like, this, like, protecting Sprite Dragon seems nice. This is maybe a little too cute. Yeah, never mind. Like, the Dredge decks were super, super grindy and consistent, and... It's like you would Leyline of the Void Hollow One, game 2, and then they would just, like... They would just put Hollow Ones into play. The Leyline wasn't even that good against them. I missed that Arrow was the most fair degen. I don't know how it was fair, honestly. I really, really dislike that metagame, but of course everybody enjoys different time spans. Not trying to tell you how to feel about the game, but we've had both Aether Gust in our opening 7-card hand. It's been pretty nice. It's just like there was just like that recurring meme in that format too, just like of what. Like, people were still playing turn 1 Celestial Colonnade, Like, people would beat, like, lose the die roll, and then they would play a turn 1 Colonnade tapped, and then their opponent would just have 10 points of power and play on turn 2, and they could just never win, because they're just still registering blue-white. Is it counterspell pull until to MH2? That's the plan, yeah. That's the plan. Miracle Terminus, you're good. I mean, a lot of the decks like didn't even play Terminus. To my recollection, it's been a while. I could be misremembering, but my recollection is that a lot of decks just straight up didn't play Terminus. Oh my! No, my opponent can't have Boil. They have Obosh. But why would they pass? They can't have Boil. We know that they have Stomp, so I can't afford to play Sprite Dragon, but we can just play Improbable Alliance and not trigger it yet. Blue-white is still good, is it? Esper's good. It's also like if you didn't Miracle your Terminus, what were you to do? And then also the frustrating thing was like, for some reason people played Blue-white Control during that metagame, and it was like, people were playing Blue-white Control, so it was actually like really frustrating that you had to think about it. You had to actually like respect Blue-white Control when you were constructing your deck, and it just felt so unreasonable to do so. Let's draw 2 cards, and let's try to draw a land to have Gust up here. It like just had no good matchups, but if you were trying to brew, oh come on! It just like it just had no good matchups, but if you were trying to brew, you had to like lose to Blue-white Control sometimes. Is accumulated knowledge too good for Modern? I mean, there is a fixed accumulated. The Frantic Inventory is in Modern, and it's about the same card. They're very, very similar. I think we have to bolt them, right? To have a card in the yard for Delve here. Costs us 4 mana to delve. Maybe it's better to go Dragon, Gust, attack. Well, I'm not the biggest modern streamer. Nassif and New Mod and Caleb all stream modern. They're all bigger streamers than I am. I just need to figure out how to appeal more to the Wizards of the Coast demographic, I guess. I don't think you can call New Mod a streamer. Why not? He streams, don't he? That makes him a streamer. Yeah, I mean, they're not dedicated modern players, but I don't know. I'm not... I hear you. I hear you for sure. Man, it's not drawing any cantrips for these alliances does stink. Might just be better to take 4. This way we can Spellstutter Sprite a 3-drop. But if they play Obosh, then we're going to want a Magmatic Sinkhole, and then we're going to want to block with the Fairy token, probably, in that case. Just drawing any cantrip does put us in really good shape. Brilliant, thank you for a Twitch Prime subscription. Appreciate you. Newmod doesn't play Modern. I must be living in the past. I honestly don't get to watch Newmod stream very much these days. No Scred and BlueRed Fae. Nope. That card does not kill Monastery Swiftspear or Soulscar Mage on turn 1, and because of that, I think it's pretty terrible. Wait, is Deceive actually 6/7? I wouldn't be surprised. He does put off tall energy for sure, but I think that's a bit. A lot of Magic players do play basketball. I used to play a lot of basketball back in my youth, but it's been a while. It's been a while since I played a lot of basketball. We can activate Improbable Alliance next turn if we don't draw a cantrip, but if we just draw a cantrip, I feel like the game ends. Why is it everything the streamer says feels unfounded? Me? Oh, I'm a very unreliable narrator. Not someone to be listened to or relied on at all. Thought I been very clear about that. I'm not a streamer. I'm an MTGO user. Right, what are our chances of beating this Emrakul? Feels like it's non-zero. Maybe higher if we would ever draw a single cantrip. We also have no more red sources we can draw to bolt this turn. A streamer to me, a mere streamer. They hit Magus of the Moon? That lets us bolt this turn? If we leave this up? Okay, so what we can do here, we've got like 2 lines. We can go sack the alliances, Scalding Tarn, 3 other lands, chump, try to draw another bolt and kill them. Or we can go sack 2 fairies, 4 lands, chump, try to draw a cantrip. I feel like that line's not as good. Yeah, we have Snapcaster in the deck. So I guess we probably should have sacked another fairy. No, that wasn't the line. Alright, bolt. Sad. Ah, 1 card down. Close game. Close game. Alright, let's keep this. Yeah, the new Emrakul has Trample, not the old one. And a deck tech for Captain Obvious, Jeskai Fae. So it's this deck. I would play the 4th Bolt over the first Path, probably, in the main deck. I really dislike this Castle Emberhearth in your Archmage's Charm deck. You have 4 Archmage's Charms and you have 20 lands and 3 lands that don't cast Charm. That's just way too many. I would play probably. There's a Delta on top, which is draw the Delta. I would probably play 1 land tops that doesn't tap 4. I'd probably play just the Mountain, maybe no basic planes. But if you're gonna play all these charms, like, you just can't afford to have this many sources that don't cast Charm. Other than that, the list seems pretty fine. A good first draft for sure. Running into a discouraging amount of E-Tron. The Salty deck, any suggestions? Yeah, I would like a way to make that matchup a bit better. The thing about E-Tron, though, the big problem with trying to have a good Eldrazi-Tron matchup is that, I don't want to leave up Spellstutter Sprite here. Yeah, the big problem with trying to have a good Eldrazi-Tron matchup is that their draws are so wildly different from game to game. Where some games they're in on Chalice of the Void, some games they're going on like a Eldrazi beatdown playing with Cavern of Souls. Some games they just have Tron, and there's like nothing you can do about it because they have Tron and Karn, the Great Creator, and so that like makes your mulligan decisions really difficult, and that makes your game plan difficult because they just like can pivot so quickly. Did they find a bolt? Nope. That's the big problem, I think, with just trying to have a good Eldrazi Tron matchup. So I think that it's probably best to not like warp your deck too much just to try to win, and say, if my Eldrazi Tron opponents have like their top like 10-15% of draws, I'm really unlikely to win that game, and that's okay. I'll try to focus on the games I can win. Wait, they could have dismembered my Spellstutter Sprite, chose not to. Now they're at 7. I've got a bolt. Got another bolt. And a force to protect it. On their turn. Is Eldrazi Tron the best deck in Modern? I would say almost certainly not. Do we add Mana Leak as good as Counterspell category? I think it's too late for that. But that probably would have been a good way to run things as starting off this epic experiment. Cascade Bluffs is the Emberhearth. Yeah, I think so. Like I really think 20 lands, 3 of them not casting Archmage's Charm, and 4 Archmage's Charms in the deck is far too many. What a fight. Should you buy Tarmogoyfs or wait till MH2 spoilers? I mean, I haven't seen MH2 spoilers. But, you know, it is certainly true that Tarmogoyfs are not that good in Modern anymore. They're okay. They're just not that good. And so I would try to have a vision for like what deck you want to play Tarmogoyf in, rather than just picking up Tarmogoyf as a staple, because it really just doesn't see that much play anymore outside of like Jund Shadow and some rock variants. But if you know that you want to play those type of decks, they're probably going to be a good pickup. You haven't seen spoilers? What about my preview card? I don't have a preview card. Is that the joke, Pokey? I did not get enough sleep to understand jokes today, I guess. Back to sleeping terribly. Alright, well, my opponent thinks about this. I'm actually gonna get that coffee. Took one of my 2 Spellstutter Sprites. Very surprised the Serum Visions is in my hand. Two Lightning Bolts. Let's go ahead and bottom both of those. And then I think we hold the Bauble to either trigger off the dragon, or next turn we'll just, you know, play a land, and then we can scry with the Bauble on our turn. Whew. Yeah, Engineered Explosives being really cheap is also interesting to me. I remember, like, I have a really high price memory of that card. I think into this open mana, I'm just not going to jam the dragon. Especially when Sprite is just so good against them. There's an Improbable Alliance on top. I think we want to shuffle, try to find a 3rd land. Do I play chess online? No. I've been kind of meaning to get into it. I haven't been into chess in years. There was a time where I fancied myself casually into chess. It is cool how popular the game has become recently. I think we just untap. Punished. Pass back. Yeah, Spike's Gambit. I played a bunch when I was a kid. And I was like, I think I was naturally good at the game. At least, you know, not a prodigy, but just like solid at the game. But being a kid, I, like a lot of kids, once I started playing against people that were better than me, I didn't want to, you know, keep going. I started doing other stuff with my life. Chess is pandemic popular? Maybe. I mean, the thing about things that have become popular over COVID is that I kind of feel like more so people have discovered new interests rather than like just finding something to do and never gonna do anything related to their new interest again. Man, hard time finding that 3rd land, huh? Is Peak worth playing in a deck like this? I don't think it's better than Opt. I don't really think it's that good. Dude, and Alliance is so good in Grixis Shadow. So good. I'm kind of sad that people aren't picking up my version very much, it seems. It seems like people are more interested in playing, like, the Angler version. And Angler is really good, but so is Kroxa, and losing Lurrus is a really high cost to pay. No, this deck isn't playing Iteration because it doesn't trigger Improbable Alliance. Not saying that it could not play Iteration. Remember when we bottom 2 lands off the Serum Visions? Who is playing Angler right now? Our opponent right now. There's like Grixis Shadow with Gurmak Angler is becoming a popular deck. This is our 2nd time playing against it today. And I've been building a version that doesn't play Iteration. It plays just Lurrus, Sprite Dragon, Bauble, Kroxa. Doesn't play Stub because you don't have Angler. But I think that's okay. I don't think Stub is, you know, nuts right now or anything. Drown I think is really good though. You bombed the bolts, yeah, I know. But my opponent has not drawn a threat, at least. I guess. Keep that. Oh, I did shuffle, that's true. I feel like they almost casted Dismember there. Does anybody else feel like they almost casted Dismember? I'm lucky that my opponent didn't draw Lurrus this game, by the way. It's wild that people consider Grixis Death Shadow a boomer deck. It absolutely is. I hate to say it, it's a deck I really like, of course. But it's absolutely a boomer deck. It's also a deck that people don't like to have never ever liked to try to adapt very much. You know, remember like Grixis Shadow started, like some Shadow players started playing Mana Leak, and it was just like this hugely polarizing thing. The Mana Leak just seems like a very reasonable card to like play in some numbers in a deck like Grixis Shadow. Yeah, but people hate they hate changing Grixis Shadow. Although it is cool to see people playing Iteration. Like, Iteration definitely does breathe life back into the archetype. It definitely does breathe life back into the archetype, but for the longest time, people were just so resistant to changing anything about it. And it's definitely the kind of deck that needs to adapt for metagames to survive. So we have Bolt, Snap, Bolt in hand, huh? Very similar to Jund, where Jund is also a deck that like needs to adapt to survive, and Jund is also like the kind of deck that people hate changing, you know. I'm generalizing a bit, of course, but that's definitely been my impression. I mean, I 5-0'd twice with my version of it recently. Yeah, I 5-0'd twice recently with this version that I've been liking a lot. This list feels like very clean, feels like it's well positioned. Drown is just such a good card in this deck. Croaks is so nice. Right, my opponent's last card is... No, sorry, it's Death Shadow. No, I don't think Grixis Shadow would play Careful Study. I have a friend who actually has been playing some of it recently to some success. Dude, we have the twin Alliance Bauble. In what situations is Leak better than Counterspell? Not having to shock turn 2? Yeah, or not having blue is basically the only situation. Why do people like to play Boggles? That's the nice thing about Magic, right? Is that everybody enjoys to play the game in a different way. Temple Garden, Utopia Sprawl, Black, no Yorion. Interesting. Probably a Niv Mizzet deck. We have a Force of Negation for Teferi. I'll probably pitch Snapcaster if we have to force Teferi. We will not have to force Teferi this turn. Oh, why do people not like to play Boggles more meta share wise? That's a good question. I don't know. Boggles does seem fine. Doesn't have a great Tron matchup. Doesn't have a great Heliod matchup, actually. Maybe it's not good. Cycles, Savai, Triumph. Are there any cards I wanted to brew around but haven't found the cards to support it? Yeah. There are a lot of cards I want to brew around and try, and then realize that there's not enough support there, and they live in my deck list forever until... they just live in my deck list forever until I can figure it out. Yeah, we cracked the Bauble on our opponent's turn to get the Alliance trigger. They named blue on the Sprawl. Blue, blue, black, green. Dude, what a crazy draw they've had. Splinter Twin assembled. Uh-oh. Bad draw assembled, I guess. Opponent's draw is also pretty awkward. What did they keep? What did they keep? I'm so confused. Oh, man. Boy, do I love Magic. There's just no game like this. You could just... you just... I don't know. You just never know what's going to happen, you know? You can play Magic every... maybe I should have Spellstutter Sprited that. I was just kind of in shock. I'm going to jam a dragon. Yeah, they're definitely Niv, I know. It's just like... Could you ever imagine like someone keeping a hand like this? You know, the game is just so funny. If they have Niv in their hand, it's pretty bad. We can force a Bring to Light, and I also think we could maybe beat a Niv. Is Remand a playable card in tempo decks in Modern? There's no such thing as a tempo deck, but Remand's a playable card, yeah. But there's no such thing as a tempo deck. What would you call this deck? This is a tribal deck. Every deck is a tempo deck. Every deck wants to. Tempo is a concept like card advantage. Tempo is a concept like you know, other gaming concepts. It's another gaming concept. Oh no, I forgot all the gaming concepts. You know what I mean? It's not really a deck. Every deck wants to get ahead on board and try to stay ahead on board. With the exception of like maybe some combo decks you could argue are not tempo. Tempo is an actual archetype. I don't really think it is. I don't think I would consider tempo to be an archetype. But also, if you have a different definition and you think that it is an actual archetype, that's okay. We can coexist in this world, you and me. We're all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it. We can coexist in this world, and you can believe in tempo as being a deck, and I cannot believe in it, and we're all gonna make it, baby. But a tempo deck indexes heavily leveraging tempo. Yeah, it's just a thing. I don't know. It just gets all so convoluted. I think I tweeted. It's so buried, but tempo can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one player to another. Is my final comment on the issue. Can you get your online timeline where you believe it's an archetype? Yes, you can. Your portal will open soon. Stand by. Yeah, aggro, mid-range, control, and combo. I agree. And then, I mean, there are decks that blend archetypes, of course. Every tempo has an equal and opposite tempo. Yeah. Oh no, I dropped. I used to have this on the mantle behind me, but because that's not in the background anymore, I have this on my desk now. My cube draft trophy. You see the ring light reflection. Yeah, my friend Madison painted it. It's very nice. Yeah, she hand painted it. It's very, very nice. Yeah, my trophy for winning a cube draft with mono white life gain. We tried a more Delver / burn version of BlueRed Faeries. I mean, I've played 1,000 Delver decks in my life. But not exactly what you're describing, recently at least. I kind of want to Aether Gust their Sprawl. What does a ring light do that a normal light doesn't? I don't know. Just whenever you download OBS, like a ring light just shows up in the mail, and then you have to use it as part of using the open broadcast software. It doesn't work unless it's on. Yikes. Yikes! Wait. Isn't Abundant Growth bugged or something? Somebody tell me what's going on. I can't remember. This feels bad. Double. Well, I guess that's what happens when you're all in on Blood Moon. Oh, wait! How the turntables. So now I believe the Blood Moon beats the growth because of layers, right? Timestamps. I'm not a judge. I don't know why it works, I just know that it does. Alright, another sprawl. My kingdom for a pillage. This feels like mostly Time Walk, right? Yeah, they put it back on top. Imagine that's going to be their same turn. Don't think I'm supposed to force this sprawl, though. Hell yeah. Finally, have drawn the combo of Cantrip and Improbable Alliance. Okay. This is interesting. Probably just bottom the second Alliance, but keep the Opt. Hold up the Hardcast Force here. Next ring you can go Dragon, Opt, hold up Force. So they're gonna cast maybe like another Fracture on my turn. Hopefully after Dragoon resolves, so I can get the counter. Abundant Growth should still work under Blood Moon. Abundant Growth works under Blood Moon if they come down first. Or sorry, if they come down after the Blood Moon. But Abundant Growth gives this land the ability, right? Oh, hold on. Is this not how it's supposed to work? But I believe that when you play Blood Moon after Abundant Growth, it turns it into just a mountain again. But is it? I think it's actually supposed to work. Let me just let this resolve. I feel like this doesn't do that much, but I'm probably supposed to force. To get my Blood Moon fractured, probably. It's a bug. They're not. Yeah. I think that you're right. I mean, I don't think there's anything I can do about it. But I think that I believe that you're right. Yeah. All right. Not too worried about that. Who needs a companion when you can activate Improbable Alliance? The better Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom doesn't even loot, dude. For the cheap price of 6 mana. Is Blood Sun a consideration for this deck because it draws a card? I mean, Blood Moon is just so much stronger. I would think not. Oh, Veil of Summer does beat Kaya's Guile. How rude. Go, fairy tokens, go! So if they take Charm, we can snap Charm. If they take Snap, we can just cast the Charm. Drawing 2 cards, a Splinter Twin situation, if I've ever seen one. I guess we play a land, so we can maybe activate a lands next turn and hold up a 2-mana counterspell if we do draw another land. Alright. After a round 1 loss to Obosh Panza, back to 2-1. Although we may have lost that game if Blood Moon wasn't bugged. Probably lost that game if Blood Moon wasn't bugged. Could have still won the match. Well, it's mulled to 5. Only a Sith believes in absolutes. Well, yes. Do you think a Bring to Light Shadow deck could work? Not really. Like, Death Shadow is good in Modern because it costs 1 mana. That's like, it's the best 1 mana threat. And so you can capitalize on it being 1 mana by trading 1-for-1 super aggressively with your discard spells, with cards like Stubborn Denial, of course. Maybe I could have forced that. I think it's better not to. Cards like Stubborn Denial, of course, and then your big threat is also 1 mana. So like playing Bring to Light doesn't make a ton of sense in a deck like that. Just doesn't really work with your usual game plan. Alright. Do not like the lands we've drawn so far. Nice to have the Sinkhole for the entity, though. They have another entity on top, though. I feel like I'm losing this game, huh? I have a Fry in the sideboard to deal with entity. Well. Reading the rules explains the headache, exactly. Not everybody is lucky enough to have a Twitch chat to explain every single situation to them. If we draw bolts, we get to kill both entities. We're not quite lucky enough to draw bolts. I'm excited for MTGO spoilers. I'm so excited. I feel like I've been in a content drought, doing everything I can, everything humanly possible to try to keep things interesting here. And even though Horizons 2 is not, you know, it's still not out, I get to talk about it some more. With that counterspell, that juicy counterspell, we've been talking about it for literally weeks. We've got this counter going for weeks. We've had nothing else to talk about, nothing interesting at all. The content has plummeted. The quality of the stream is at an all-time low. Esther gives me an after-stream report every single day, and the bar graphs are just in the gutter. And she's like, Spike, can I say, can you please just call me Everett when I'm not streaming? It makes me feel inhuman when you call me Spike. And she says, Spike, we need to do something about these numbers. This is just not cutting it. I have a lifestyle to support. I say, yes, ma'am. We'll just have to wait, I think, until Modern Horizons 2 comes out. I've got no new ideas. I draw a lightning bolt, huh? Can I draw a lightning bolt? Can I draw a lightning... Oh! Can I snap Sinkhole? I can't. So I can snap Ops looking for bolts. I think that's better than playing Spellstutter Sprite to chump block. Play to win, you know. But how cast snap Ops? What kind of mana do you need for that? Let's go! And by let's go, I mean let's die next turn. How often I listen to Harry's clip after those stream talk? Well, usually she'll go like, we need to get back up to this level. We need everyone in the Magic community to be maintaining this level of hype at all moments. And I'm like, I just don't know how to do that. All right, they did draw a land. We have a Spellstutter Sprite to counter like, you know, their next 1 mana spell. Okay. Dude, winning this game would be awesome. Winning this game would be so good. I'm going to draw 2 cards here, and they're both going to be good. Alright, one of them was good. Close enough. So they did nothing last turn. This turn they're playing a Dragoon. I thought I was the Sprite Dragon deck. Yeah, I really like. I'm so sad that these are like $15 in paper. I would really love to have a playset, but it's just like, where am I gonna get $15? A lot better than Bitter Blossom here, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, maybe Esther will owe me some money. Esther, could I have $15 for a Spellstutter Sprite? Maybe when you get those numbers up, Spike. Maybe when you get those numbers up. Dude, Esther was so sweet last night, you know, a bit aside. Athena was having a really upset stomach, and I was up with Athena from 2:30 a.m. to 3:45. Then Esther was like, you just go back to bed, and then I'll take care of it. But I didn't go back to bed because I felt bad leaving her up by herself. And then Athena was being really weird. She just clearly just had like some gas. Is really all it was. Where she didn't need to I can't believe we won that game. That's so absurd. I can't believe we won that game. How am I telling this story? But she was just gassy, and then she was, you know, she's all spoiled whenever she's uncomfortable. She just needs us to be awake, and she just wanted to like sit on the balcony while she was uncomfortable last night. And so me and Esther slept on the couch last night, so that way we could listen for Athena when she wanted to come back in. But she just would not go to bed because she was gassy. She just refused to go to bed. I guess maybe I just want to cut the Sprite Dragons. They're just so fragile in this matchup, and then the alliances are pretty resilient. But finally, she got comfortable. No, Athena's my dog. She, I gave her some cheese yesterday. I shouldn't have given her any cheese. We have some Athena emotes. But she's doing okay now. But Esther was just very sweet last night. Just a wonderful partner, wonderful human being. And I'd never say that to her face, of course. I would never tell her that. What's the Michael Scott line? I love Pam. She's a really valuable member of the company. I'd never tell her that to her face. Can't remember exactly. It sounds something like that. Let's keep this. Surprised Prismari Command isn't in the sideboard here over a Scions. Well, I have the Scions in the main deck. I think the Scions are really good in this deck in the main. I also don't even really feel like Prismari Command is that good, so I guess that's where we disagree, huh? Lockhart gifting us up to Phyrexia, thanks buddy. But Esther is I think the best thing that's ever happened to me. I don't think I'd be streaming without her, so, you know, her, you know, support. I like never had someone that believed in me, you know, as my partner to start streaming, and I just wouldn't be where I am without her. Get someone in your life that glows you up, you know, someone that makes you the best version of yourself. It's very important. When was the last time we played a Shark Typhoon deck? It's been a couple weeks. I did play Blue-White Sharkblade a couple of weeks ago. Maybe I want to play an Alliance this turn. I feel like this is maybe not good. But they kept the one-lander. I feel like this is kind of mana inefficient to just bolt this with Spear. We can go Alliance plus bolt next turn and then start making a ton of Faeries. 7. Not a great life total. Alright, let's keep up the Sprite here. Favorite Office episode? Probably the Fire Training episode. That one's just like so good. Alright. Opponents already used 2 lightning bolts. If they have 3 and 4 in their hand, we could be in some trouble. Well, there's land number 2. Although we can block a Sprite Dragon. And bolt an entity. I also like the episode where they play the murder game, where they play the board game. I like that one a lot. I think I'm gonna draw 2 here. We really need to draw 2. And then we can also trigger Bauble on our next turn, or Alliance next turn on our Bauble. The iteration is so good. Yeah, Threat Level Midnight's good. Just a good show. Oh, we're dead. Soulscar Mage. There's an island on top. Shuffle, get our second Steam Vents. Trigger alliances. Ooh, another Bauble. Alliance popping off. Let's counter this, I think. Could die if they have another Bolts. Green leader standing by for 26 fortnights. Green leader standing by. Dude, there's a Star Wars VR game where you pilot the. They have a lava dart on top. It's scary. That I really want to play. Destroy target land. I also got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm very excited to play it. I played the first one or the original series a million times. When they conceded, they could draw a lightning bolt off Fiery Islet. Dude, we started off 0-1. Now we haven't lost a single game. Let's go! Destroy target land, 15 months. Just charm deck. Yeah, Faeries are Faeries broken in Modern? Can't believe we 2-0'd Blue-Red Prowess too. The matchup seems bad. Just got past first bit of Dissidal. Yeah, I'm not off Eden Prime yet. I haven't played very much. I was finishing up my second Cyberpunk. My second. Ooh, I like these cards. I was finishing up my second Cyberpunk playthrough, and I don't know how I messed it up, but I'm not getting the ending I wanted. I'm not gonna say anything beyond that, but I'm really disappointed. I'm not getting the ending I wanted. And it's okay. I mean, I know what the ending is. I was just hoping to get it, and I don't know how I messed it up, but I did. But now I'm going to be moving on to Mass Effect. Cracking my bubbles now because we have Force of Negation in our deck, and I think drawing that, the upside of drawing that is worth losing the information. You can say before you do all the endings. Well, there's one ending that you can't do. There's one ending you can't do that way. But this is my second playthrough. I've already done all the regular ones, but there's just one that you have to do it a special way. I think we're gonna Dragon Serum Visions. I don't know what my opponent's doing. Maybe they're playing Through the Breach. It's probably the most likely thing. Pretty dead though. Yeah, there's a secret ending, Zajad. You've given me a love for Modern again. I've got 80% of Grixis Lyris sleeved up. Hell yeah! I'm glad I get those messages all the time. It makes me really happy to hear because I really love Modern too. And I'm glad that I'm able to keep people interested in the game. Okay, yeah. You have to, for the secret ending, you have to do a couple of things. I thought I did them. I mean, don't mean to dominate the conversation with Cyberpunk, but I did really love that game. I know it doesn't run on everybody's computers. I know there's a lot of bugs and stuff, but I really like the game. Die! Overkill. Dude, Faeries are unstoppable. This deck is kind of sick. Maybe I'll just play another league for fun with this. We've got some time. I think my opponent's playing Breach, if I had to guess. So Clique seems kind of decent. Hello, Esther.
Hello.
You get enough sleep?
Yeah, I've been awake.
Okay, good.
I heard you being gay.
Huh?
I heard you being gay.
Being what?
Lovely.
Oh, yes. I couldn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
You heard someone else, I think, though.
Hello.
Go play the Royal Scions yet? I haven't casted this game, but I've played them in decks like this in the past, and like triggering Improbable Alliance every turn is really nice, and then also pumping up your 1/1 flyers is also really strong. I think I've played them in decks like this in the past, and I think it's good. We haven't cast it today.
She's just been in bed sleeping.
Yeah, I know. She's just tired. I think she was just gassy last night.
I don't know. She ate grass and she never threw up, right?
Yeah.
Cheese.
It's just the cheese.
Cheese. Yeah, don't give her cheese.
Maybe add Cryptic. I mean, what would you cut for the Cryptic command? Like, we also played 20 lands, so 4-drops are kind of... It's like, then you have to add lands and Cryptics. You bought the whole Lure Spring to Light deck, hell yeah. I'm glad. A lot of people have been into that one. For Popper BlueRed Frey, it's funny. I can keep this. Yeah, Borrower might be good. There's like obviously a lot of options. You don't get to play all of them, unfortunately. Polluted Delta on top. Yes, please. So saving these other baubles to trigger Improbable Alliance, I think is good. I guess we could crack both baubles. Yeah, let's actually just double bauble here, assuming this doesn't get forced. Any thoughts for Hieroglyphic Illumination? I don't think Hieroglyphic Illumination is modern playable, honestly. It's like you're really just not casting it for 4 that often. And then like losing out on any card selection is a pretty big cost. Much better than Bitter Blossom. They love this Snap Serum Visions play. Missing Bobs for Bring to Light Valky deck? Bob? I wasn't playing Bob in Bring to Light Valky. I was playing it in the Grixis Shadow Expressive Iteration version. A few too many lands, maybe. Do you have any suggestions for replacement? Well, you're going to want something that's good against control and big mana is like the card that's there for. I'm not sure exactly what I would suggest, I suppose, but maybe look for something that you feel is good in those matchups. Of One Mind is interesting, but I mean, we don't have very many humans in this deck. Just the Snapcasters. Yeah, Missplaying Clique is super cool. Don't think it's quite makes the cut here. Yeah, I love these arts though. They're so good. I forgot to ask Esther for $15 while she was in here to buy some. I guess spriting here is really bad against lightning bolts. They put back 5 cards or 4 cards. Well, scary. I think I'm gonna Vendilion Clique them this turn. Entrance, I'll try to work on this list outside of Dono. Yeah, I think I'm having a lot of fun, and I don't have another Dono lined up, so I might not. See how I'm feeling after this match. All right, take a look at their hand. Second Madcap, Anger, Platinum Empyrean. Do I have any answers to this? I don't think I do. The Anger is a really big problem too. Let me just double check that I just don't have any outs. Maybe I'm forgetting something. No, there's no Borrower. I mean, I could draw a bunch of bolts, but I actually can't. Don't have enough bolts in the deck. So yeah, I have to take the Madcap, I think. We're attacking them for 6 down to 9. They drew Opt. Why would they opt Serum Visions after Opt? They're not unlikely to be able to find another Madcap. They put this was also a new draw, so their hand is interesting. Hold on. Pathway, Snapcaster Mage, Valakut Awakening, Platinum Empyrean, mystery card. I think I want to save the dragon for post Anger of the Gods. Although, dude, we drew the Spellstutter. So I guess I'm gonna. I think I just need to be able to pay for Mana Leak on Spellstutter. It seems like the important thing here. Or Dispute. Draw our Snapcaster. They're pretty dead. 5, 6, 7, 8. So, yeah, so this puts 9 points of power in play. We have Snap Bolts. So they need to have 2 answers here. I want to see your Lurrus version of this. I'm not convinced Lurrus is better, but we're about to have some time to work on Decklist and stuff and kind of have a bit of more free form stream today. Like, only two donation decks and they've gone really, really quickly. Alright, so top, kill them. 4-0. Dude, after losing a match 1, we didn't lose a single game either. It's pretty exciting. I also think we got pretty lucky. Lurrus Sprite really isn't a combo. I mean, but you're like, to play Lurrus, you just have to cut the Royal Scions, and the big cost is actually splashing white or black, but it's not like just because you can't Spellstutter Sprite on your opponent's turn, it's that big a deal. How the first dono go? We went 2 and 3. Okay, so we've got a few different options.